So you can blast your questions there so that we can ask to the panel. So for tonight, our topic will be associated around data privacy and cybersecurity. And our main focus tonight is to the importance of proactive approach regarding this matter. So joining with us tonight is actually the chairperson of Center of Cybersecurity Academia Malaysia, which is Dr. Siti Nurul Huda, Sheikh Abdullah. So, Assalamualaikum Doctor, how are you doing?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so tonight we'll be discussing on this topic, but before we further dig into the specific topic, we want the audience to know the bigger picture or the brief description in a nutshell. So, Doctor, can you please explain to us briefly regarding data breach and also the security itself?
All right. Okay. So, if I could put in a simple term, the data breach is actually when something is breaching. That means you are giving some information which is very private to you, right? Mm-hmm. So, most likely we can think that our private information. Okay, so of course our private information should be very secret. Yes. We do not want to share to anybody, right? Even we do not want to share our information about our health information, our family well-being, and etc. So we wanted to keep to our own personal life for that information. However, when data breach appears is when somebody, which is the third party, is sharing the information to the other person. Yeah. So, it's either unprecedentedly or is meant for economically, because some of them, when they gain a lot of information, and that information is not only specific for a certain person, but it may be 1,000 of millions of data informations, and they are very eager to have it, and they would like to share it to the others, and sometimes they make money from that. Okay, so that's why when data breach usually happens, they sell this information through the dark web. So if you can see, the most recently happened, I think just a few days before, where we have the case involving on the list of our bank merchants involved in Malaysia and Singapore and a few other countries in the
Southeast Asian countries.
And Southeast Asian countries, and quite popular bank has been some of the information of the credit cards will be sold has been sold in the dark web. So besides that, specific information or our personality information also has been shared, such as data of the students, the CGPA informations, and then look what happened. I think during this year, where 2 universities is also happening this kind of.
So the most, how can we say this? Most legitimate universities, though.
Those legitimate universities. Well, I guess the hackers was trying to make a fool of a few universities, I guess. Okay. However, they just want to try and trap and see whether is there any defense happened during when there's the data breaching happened. However, mostly the data breaching is not because of due to the information. They captured the information from the internet, but actually is from the human factor. Usually, most of them are. It's really the human factor who is actually given the information unauthorizedly to the other third party.
Oh, without even realizing it, right?
Yeah, without realizing it. So, quite common, the data breaching is because of human factor. But there are some cases, this data breaching will capture the information through malware informations or phishing software, where they try to snake your information once you use a certain mobile apps, and then yeah, you surprisingly that they keep malware information, malware together with the software that you are using. For example, like online.
The recent case is regarding the Clear Scan, if I'm not mistaken, the scanning, the document scanning app.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
So they embed, they eventually embed the malware inside there. Okay, so be careful. Okay, be careful, everybody. That so you have to be aware that the malware usually happens. Previously, it was happening in the desktop, but now if you can see the popular. The wide range number of people are using internet all around the world. If you can see here, the mobile connectivity nation, where of course you can see the Singaporean, they have about 147% of connectivity. More than 100% means that one person have more than one handphone. All right. So I suppose in Singaporean. It. Okay, so that's why in Industry 4.0 you have to be very extra careful because all the functionalities are ready in any kind of apps because we are going to do a lot of big data information. You're going to share information and then you have this augmented reality where you will be somewhere that you wish to be a lot,
Artificial intelligence.
even though you don't have money to go there, but however, with augmented reality, your dream will come true. With the cloud computing, you like to share all information, you don't like to bring your thumb drive. It's very
inconvenient.
Recklessly, sometimes you miss it here and there. So you say everything you can put in the cloud, so everything you can just get it within 1 second. Simulations, IoT, system integration, or autonomous robots. And these autonomous robots, beware as well, it can become a hardware that communicates between human and the robots, but sometimes it can be only software, or maybe it can be just a tools that will communicate with you, like probably your car.
Yes.
Now you have your car. You say
we have things called smart home now.
So now you should understand better already. Okay, the smart home, everything can be just through the speech recognition. So you can let everything done as perfect as possible. Okay. So if you can see the global risk, global risk is that you said that in ITU index, which is a global cybersecurity, we actually got the eighth place, which actually provide a very good global cybersecurity score. If you can see about the legal, we have the legal. Ongoing, and then we have also technical staff, very good technical staff. Organization, also we prepare quite good, and also we have capacity building among all universities. I think most of the universities now are moving towards to develop more cybersecurity personnel, from the undergraduates until the postgraduates. So I think Malaysia is quite perfectly a good platform, and of course having a good place, it doesn't mean that you will not be chased by any kind of cybercrime.
Yes.
Okay, so the top 10 global risks in doing business, they put that cyber attacks should be the second type of cyber crimes that will occur from time to time.
Yes, they call it cyber warfare right now.
Yeah, cyber warfare. And then you have this ransomware, and you have also the crypto mining is going on. Sometimes you get benefit of it, and sometimes you are being cheated by the other party. So nowadays there are some cases in police, they didn't even aware that this actually part of crypto mining, or where crypto mining is part of money laundering crime actually. So another thing that you should be aware also is about data fraud and also data theft. This is very closely to the data breaching. So we have the big data booming. We have all information with 1 million record, etc. And you would like to share to the others. Maybe they want to do data mining, but unfortunately, in one hand, it actually give you another personal thing or predict another thing that which you do not like to be known. For example, in Google, right? So you are not sharing with the other people that you are going to another country, but suddenly he said, okay, I know you are here, now I think you can visit here, you can visit there, or you can go and buy somewhere, you can buy somewhere near close to you. Actually, it's because of the information details that given that you keep in through your Gmail information, for example. So beware of that as well. As you can see, in the year 2019, the statistics for cybercrime, the most popular one is fraud.
Cyber fraud.
Okay, fraud. Okay,
and actually, cyber fraud has been the most recorded cybercrime since 2008, and that has been consistent since since more than a decade actually, right?
That's right. So I'm not so sure how our community are being educated to avoid from doing fraud. But we did some research in UKM and try to analyze in our university what makes people creating more frauds. It's because they are reckless, or maybe they tend not to they don't bother to understand how the behavior of a criminal, when they are trying to stealing your information, etc. And then so they create some fraud that you can that you don't realize it, and it happens. It happens to the organization. Okay. Right. So, and if you see the case of PDRM also, I have from 2016. The first actually is e-dagang. E-dagang is e-commerce. It's all about e-wallet information. Or the buying online. Is about 2.9 billion. That was in 2016. But now, this was 2016. And just imagine how it will be. I think it will be exponentially increase. It will be exponentially increase if all users are not aware of their getting aware of the crimes that always change according to the time. Okay, maybe you want to ask more questions.
Okay. So, okay, that is the not so much brief description. That's a very long description on data breach and also security. So, okay, we can see that mostly these things happen, just like I told you previously, that actually data privacy and cybersecurity is something that is closely related to us. And we can there's a saying known to that. There's one saying that they said everything is can be found at the fingertips, or everything we can like, how can I say this? You see, like, we can have everything at the fingertips. Right? Almost all information can be found at the fingertips. But little did we know that our personal data or information is also at someone else's tip of their fingers. So, and that happened without even us realizing it, and that is actually, it's actually quite scary though to begin with, but it's okay. So we have already talked about the brief description in a nutshell regarding data breach and also security. So now we want to move forward to something that is recently being implemented, which is the technology of the e-wallet itself. Which so, Doctor, can you please explain to us a bit about the technology of the e-wallet and what is behind it? Either it is just as convenient as the cloud information, as the cloud system itself, or is there something else that is hidden behind it? So, Fadol?
All right. About e-wallet, it's actually it's a system where you keep a certain amount of money, and you want to spend it using any e-commerce software or apps like online buying system, and then you will use that to do some payments, and usually you want to save your money so that you will not overspend. Or maybe you don't want to carry a lot of money, so we call it cashless system. And it's quite efficient because it's quick, so that you can make the payment in just maybe a few buttons of touching it, right? And whether you are a customer or you're a business owner. So now Malaysians are moving towards to the digital wallet, and this digital wallet also, you can top up some money. You can always if the money has been it has finished, so you can top up a certain amount of money periodically, and then you will make a communication with the bank company or the merchant. Yeah? And this digital wallet, we have many samples of digital wallet. For example, like Touch and Go, you have GrabPay, you have even the bank merchants like Maybank. They have their wallet. Yeah, I think it's more than what I have listed on the list. Ada about, if I'm not mistaken, even my students make research, is about around nearly 200 of e-wallet nowadays that in Malaysia that have been aggressively used by the Malaysian users. Yeah. But the only thing that you have to be careful about digital wallet is that about the transaction between your statements and with the merchant bank. Okay. So please make a habit that every time when you want to make a purchase, you want to purchase a certain bag, probably. I think my son, he likes to buy the earphone and then sometimes the mic. I don't know why the small thing, and suddenly I found it is at home already. So he said, I use e-wallet to do that. Okay, so you can do that. But one thing that you must be sure is that the things that you pay, you will get the product. At the same time, so you get the receipt back from the merchant, and it must be synchronized, and the time must be right, and then the amount should be the same as what you have been purchased. So if another thing that you have to be aware of, that they are using HTTPS system. HTTPS system is a secured layer. So make sure that all the digital wallet, they are using this HTTPS layer, and they encrypted the information when they transfer from the gadgets to the merchant. So make a habit to double check before you use the e-wallet. Okay. For a small amount of transaction, I think it's fair for you to use e-wallet in the middle of city. But if you go to more outskirts of city, I think Touch and Go would be much better for you to use. But again, another thing I would like to advise, that when you use the digital wallet, please do not go to any free Wi-Fi, please. Okay, please use a very secure Wi-Fi, because we would like to we want to avoid from anything hijacking in between the communication between your wallet with the merchant. Because if you use Wi-Fi without encrypted or encryption, then there comes the man in the middle who's going to steal your information. Okay, so please use a proper secured internet line when you want to do the transaction. Okay.
So meaning that it's best for us, if we go elsewhere outside of our comfort of our home, it's best for us to use the mobile data.
Yes. It's more
secure.
It's more secure rather than you use. If you go to the what do you call it?
Sometimes MACD free Wi-Fi in MACD also.
No, don't do that. MACD ke atau kedai Dobby ke kan? Please, if you just want to browse information, or you want to read newspaper, etc., then you can use free Wi-Fi, and then no harm for you. But if you want to make something that involves with your money, with something with your privacy, then try to avoid by using unsecured line. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That is actually a very hefty description, and yes, okay. So now we know that for e-wallet, it's safe to say that if you want to do a small transaction, it's best to use e-wallet. But if you want to use, if you want to spend on a large sum of money, it's best to use credit card in between. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, okay, that is regarding e-wallet. So now we're moving on to something that is literally our personal matter, which is the digital ID, if I'm not mistaken. So I think Malaysian wants to, I'm not sure if Malaysia wants to implement the digital ID or has already implemented. So, Sir, can you briefly explain to us a bit about the digital ID in our country?
All right. So digital ID is actually, if you give me a few minutes just to explain about digital ID is actually very closely related to the Digital Signature Act. Actually, is where you want to ensure that or regulate the security of any electronic transaction through some sort of digital signature. Okay, so this digital signature usually it can be from using a certificate, or it can be used any identity information such as your thumbprint information.
Yep.
So or you can have your face ID. You can some part they use iris recognition. In some countries they are moving for guide ID. So there are so many kind of digital ID that actually the government are still looking forward to propose what are the best fit of digital ID to carry out instead of by just using the smart card that we have. So they want to have another information just instead of having the thumbprint information, but perhaps the other kind of digital information about yourself should be stored as well. So just to tell you the truth, quite a number of digital ID has been used already in other countries, and in fact in China even they use face recognition just to make loan banks. Okay, so they don't have to go to the bank anymore, so they just can verify themselves by using their face ID. Okay, and
some of them next level technology right there.
I don't know whether you're aware that some of the peminta sedekah lah. They are using the QR code already for
is it?
Yeah, for you to get sharing some money for them, etc. Right. So that's also another standard way that they use digital ID is the QR code. Okay. So up to now, it's still not being implemented fully. The digital ID yet is still being studied by the government to perform which kind of digital ID that to be best fit for the Malaysian. Some countries they already use all of your fingers. Include your facial information, etc. But I think Malaysian is just a thumbprint, right? I think mostly they are using thumbprint information.
The facial recognition is only, I think it's mostly used on phones.
Yeah, because they have a camera. You need to have a camera, then only they can capture your information. But if you use like your thumb drive, or your thumbprint, by right, they need to have infrared, a scanner, or other kind of scanner that can capture your information of your biometrics information. So this biometric is not only the features of the images, but also it can be the motion information. So that motion information is also another way where they use also for identify personnel for authentication.
Motion
that means if you do your
signature,
so they can tap you by the way you are putting up your pen, putting down your pen, and then move left, move right, etc. So those are motion information. So that motion information can be part of a digital ID as well, because it's very personalized according to one person to another person.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that is some next level technology we're talking about right there. So so I think so I think that should be it for the time being. We have covered the brief description of the data breach and also the security, the e-wallet technology and also the digital ID. So now, I think it's best for us to go to the questions. So please, if you have any questions, please go to our main JPro Facebook page, which is Jabatan Profesional Muda JPro DPPM. And go to our live streaming right now, and then if you have any questions, please post it there so that we can ask Doctor on regarding this matter though. So now let me see. It is not moving.
It's not moving yet.
Just a moment, okay, Doctor?
Yeah, it's alright, it's alright.
Okay, so, okay, mine is kind of freeze at the moment, but I do have some of my colleagues who want to know a bit or two about, we do have one, we do have someone who wants to know about the PDPA 2010, which is the Personal Data Protection Act. Can you please brief to us, just explain a little bit about this?
Okay, so Personal Data Protection Act has been built in 2010 already. Okay, so personally, why it has been built? Because this this bill is to regulate the processing of personal data in commercial transactions and to provide for matters connected therewith and essential thereto. Okay, so that means the information of personal data, when you capture the information when you want to do a commercial transaction. Okay, so we have to regulate how does the conduct should be. Because when we want to do some transaction, we have to give our personal data information in order for them to authenticate about our identity. So that means they are assured that we are the person that we are telling about. Okay, so this PDPA is what is the personal data actually that involved inside here. So the personal data that involved, it can be any information in respect of commercial transactions which is being processed wholly or partly by means of equipment operating automatically in response to instructions given for that purposes. So that means when you have let's say you want to assign an account, an email account, for example, or you want to sign up a Facebook account, for example, or you want to sign up for any kind of maybe you want to get information about your personal about some information from another party. So when we want to get something, they will ask us to authenticate ourselves, and so we have to give our personal information to them. Right? So when we give to this personal information, they have to respect a few things. We call it what are the data principles. So when we want to share something, so the body that will keep our information should bind with this kind of principle, where they should have the disclosure principle, they should have the security principle, they should have the retention principle, they have also data integrity principle, and they have also the access principle. So if the body that you want to give the information, and they will provide this kind of principle to the users, so I suppose that it will be very secure for you to give the information to them. So these principles can become a guideline for you, in order for you to summon someone else if in the case where they misconduct to our own personal data information. Okay, so if they go against to these principles, so you can you can put some summon to them. You can call a police warrant to capture the person that share your personal information. Okay. So it's very important that you must aware, because I have some cases telling us that a person who is working at a bank, and then suddenly there was some fighting between some customers, one customer A and customer B. So, and this customer A and customer B, and suddenly is a friend of one worker in a bank, and they want to get the information from the about another customer information through his friends who's working in the bank, and there was one case where they share the information by capturing the picture of a bank statement of another party. So, and they give it to another person, or we consider another enemy of that customer. So it's against of the principle. It's a principle of data principle. So. A persons can know their rights, that if they have the evidence, a proper evidence saying when and why, and the information given by a particular person, they can put a police report for that, and I think it can be easily being penalized at the code for the PDPA. So don't worry, please, we have the act already, PDPA. So if you think they misconduct your information, so you can make sure you keep the evidence, the proper evidence. Let's say you make a screenshot and set at what time particular, and then you can just make a police report for that.
Okay, so that is it regarding PDPA 2010, the Personal Data Protection Act. Okay, so we're going to the next questions from the FB Live. I can see someone by the name Husnatan Mohtar. Oh, this question is in Malay, but I'll try my best to translate it. Boleh share tips? Saya ada banyak account social media, macam mana kita nak set passwords yang senang nak ingat, tapi susah nak kena hack. So, in a nutshell, it is like if we have a lot of social media accounts, and how can we set the password to be kind of not complicated. It is complicated regarding to the criteria, but it's easy for us to remember it at some point.
Okay. So of course, I think the guidelines of creating a password has been set by the developer actually. Okay, so usually they will ask you to have at least a minimum of 8 length of characters, or sometimes it's good for you to combine with small caps and uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, and then you have numbers together, and you have also symbols together with it. So sometimes people like to have a nicknames. Okay, then it's good if you want to have a nicknames as your password. Then you can just change the I-E-O-U,
the vowels,
probably with numbers,
or special characters.
Special characters. Or if you like to be special characters, usually it will be related to the all kind of symbols, and symbols, or you have the smiley symbols, or you have the all kind of symbols that you can use. If you combine those things together and put it together, it will be a very strong password. And another thing that I want to give you a tips is that password, please do not use the same password for all kind of social media or any platform of online system. Try to change them by adding numbers or all symbols.
At least make it different.
Yeah, you have to make it different, okay? But slightly different and not the same, okay? So that because you have to know the trick of the what we call it, the trick of the okay, let me see here, how the hackers are doing, okay? What are the hackers are doing, okay? So the hackers like to steal our password, of course. Yeah? Okay. So when they steal it, usually they use malware. Yeah? They use Trojan. They can just steal that information through, for example, like free Wi-Fi, etc. Okay, or they do phishing. Phishing, that means they create a software where they ask you that you have to do this urgently at certain time before it's you are being fired or you're being given some reward or something, and then you must put this information and enter into the system. Okay, so usually the interface will be looks similar to the real one, yeah, but that is the modus operandi that has been done by the hackers actually. So another thing that the hackers will do, of course, they will guess. Yeah, they will guess 4 letters that usually that they will know that we will always use this as your password. For example, your boyfriend's name, your husband's name, your mother's name, your children's name. These usually the hackers knows that this can become part of your password. Okay, so they can guess from the names of your siblings or your parents, etc. Another thing that they do is they use a brute force attack. So this brute force attacks, usually they will do a lot of combination of possibility or combination between letters and numbers, and they usually, if they want to guess one, they have to spend about 27 and a half hours just to get your password. Okay.
That's more than a day.
That's more than a day. So sometimes they also have a dictionary attack, and this one is based on specialists by the technical or foreign language dictionary. Okay, so this is how the hackers are doing. So you have to think more than the hackers. Okay, so that means you must make their life difficult. Okay, to make their life difficult, as I said just now, please combine them more than have 8 characters. Combine those possibility of character, symbols, and numbers. Yeah.
Okay. So and also I think this will be the last question. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, dear audiences, because we only have a few more time time left to spare, and I do have one more questions from one of my colleague here. He said that he wants to know what are the steps to become effective human firewall.
Human firewall. Okay. If in the ACM is about computing, where they actually construct a curriculum of cybersecurity, right? Of cybersecurity in all intradiscipline of area. Okay, and one of the factors that they are mentioning is about apart from computer security, then you have the internet security, you have the another one that they mention is about human security. Okay, because quite a number of careless information that has been breached is actually is because of the lack of human security. So human security actually can be protected by having a good policy or a good SOP standard performed by the organization. So if you have if your organization or your system has been supported by a policy, some sort of a simple guideline, then it will be good to become a guideline for among the community. Yeah? For example, okay, this information can be used by a certain particular, or this password can be used by particular person access right, or the information if it's categorized as secret, highly secret, so how does the mechanism that they should transmit the information. So they have this kind of policy that the organization should apply with a good standard of procedure. I think it will protect the human. It will protect the human, both those who are reckless and those who are not reckless. So it can avoid you from being what do you call it, kena apa ni, kena ditahan ataupun dianiayai.
Oh, okay.
Both. You are not being you are being protected by yourself or not, and
not being ridiculed by others. Yeah.
Not by the others. So human security can be protected by having a good policy and a standard of procedure, or for the system that you have developed. Okay.
So that will be it for the questions that we want to answer. 3 questions altogether. So, okay, I think it's safe to say that it's already past 50 minutes actually. So, I think it's better for us to conclude. So, Doctor, please conclude your point from today's activity, today's discussion, which is the importance of proactive approach regarding data security, data privacy, and also cyber security.
Okay. So I just would like to advise to the users to be exclusively careful on what kind of transaction that you are doing in your daily life. Okay, for the purpose of something that high risk, which involve of money. So you have to be extra careful on the type of transaction that you are doing. You must be alert of everything that's surrounding you, not just say, oh, I have to finish it, okay, and the people say, no, you have to buy now, or else you will not get it. But please think first, your surroundings, what happened, what mechanisms are there, and what are the risks that you will take later. Okay, so risk assessment of yourself is better. It's like macam muhasabah diri lah. Risk assessment is muhasabah diri, where you have self-reflection about your environment when you want to conduct any transaction. Okay, and be aware that if the risk is very high, for example like making a transaction in kedai dobi, for example, the risk is very high. So I think you better just leave it and then do it to another time. Okay, and another thing, when you want to share your information, if you sign up any system, so please look for the policy that they have prepared, prepared for the system. Okay, how would they protect you and protect to the organization as well. Okay, so because this policy shall be used by the law of court, in order for them to judge you whether you are misconduct or not misconduct. Okay, so that's my last advice, so I hope be safe whenever you go.
Okay, I think that should be it for today's topic and for tonight's session. And yes, dear audiences, please do be aware of your own surrounding whenever we make such a personal transaction, and also whenever you are trying to register for any sort of, especially free of charge system or services. So, okay, I think that should be it for tonight. And please stay safe. And stay healthy. Please do protect yourself from the current spiking cases of COVID-19, and I hope you'll do well, and I hope you do gain some benefit and also some useful information, and also please share it to others, your families, friends, and also colleagues as well. So that's all for tonight. Inshallah, we'll be having another session of Activate series, either it's with Activate Talk, Cafe, or seminar. So that's all for now. From us, Jabatan Profesional Muda dan Muda PAS Malaysia, nurturing professionals #create better Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.